Did you hit the button yet?
Not yet.
Oh, I'm about to say, I know I wasn't looking.
Just
Woo! I was sitting out in the yard, had the campfire going. The kids was around. We made some s'mores. I'm sitting there watching.
I hit it.
Put in work. Yeah, this was a good night for me. Where Ephraim at? I don't see his face. Where you at, Ephraim? I guess let me do the introductions. Welcome to another episode of the Uncensored Philly Sports Podcast. So far, you have Wayne, Tim, and Ephraim. You never know, Ethan might pop in. But this was a good night. I'm not even going to hold you. For me personally, I came home. It was a nice night. I threw some stuff on the grill. I took my my laptop out in the yard. I watched the Sixers game. Kids making s'mores on the campfire, everything else. It was a beautiful night tonight. We saw this was encouraging because if we can get this kind of performance, of course, Maxey had 28, Shake had 20, Kork had 18. I'm not expecting them to get those type of points when you have Maxey. When you have Embiid and Harden playing, but the energy they brought, and the shots that they were hitting and the way that they played, if we can get that kind of play off the bench, I feel great about the Sixers in the playoffs. Now, that being said, they got to do it more than just this one game. But this game, and I'm going to say this, I'm not overdoing what this game was because, you know, sometimes it could have been the fact that Miami coming into the game saw no Embiid, no Harden, and kind of took their foot off the gas and thought they was going to come in and coast. But Maxey did his thing. Kork did his thing and Shake did his thing, and it was a good win for the Sixers.
I'm happy. I'm thrilled. These are hearing the chants when you actually hear the chants that they was chanting Maxey's name, and he was just getting hyper towards the fourth quarter. That was amazing. And I know Ephraim was down at the game. I can't wait to hear how it was. Actually, he's gonna give us some commentary how it was live at the Wells Fargo. What's the name of it?
Wells Fargo Center.
Wells Fargo Center. But what I gotta say is, man, there's so many people that you can go on and say did great. Like for one thing, I'm gonna give Doc. We've been riding Doc along a lot lately, but the way he played, his rotation, the people that he played today, bringing Korkmaz in, letting him get those minutes. Because a little bit, I was kind of a little irritated, like, why are you not playing all of the young bulls? But it was a perfect amount of the veterans as well as the young guys playing. And he called all the right punches today. So kudos to Doc. But I know we're gonna get into it. So Ephraim, you want to say something before we start grading individual performances? We can't hear you at all. We can't hear you. Go ahead, Wayne's talk. We'll tell you.
Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead. Now we can't see you.
I was down there.
I don't know if I'd rather not see you or rather not hear you. I'm not sure.
That's hating. It was a very euphoric experience. I think going in, most of us didn't think that we'll win. I mean, anytime you lace up, you got a fighting chance. I'm always a strong proponent of that. And the way we showed up tonight, it was incredible. It was inspiring. And the thing that I don't know if y'all can hear it or y'all felt it at home. It was several times in that fourth quarter that the whole crowd was chanting Maxey.
Oh yeah, we heard it. We heard it.
Crazy. It was crazy. It had to be like I wasn't there at the game. Whatever game it was, when we finally realized AI was who he was, that's how the game felt. It felt like you was watching a star be born. Right?
Bro, I was at AI first game. We knew AI was AI in that first game, bro. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Okay, all right. It was that game then, because Maxey wasn't obviously the number one pick of the draft or nothing like that. But at a certain point, even if you're number one pick, like the light skinned dude, he never had that game where you was like, yo, this dude is real. That game that we saw tonight from Maxey, this game, it was that game. You knew he was real, and you know, regardless of what happens, B, Harden, we in good hands. We in good hands with the young boy. I'm convinced. It was incredible.
You know what? I got it. I got to kind of disagree with Tim a little bit because he's giving Doc props. Doc had no choice tonight. And that's why I kind of agree with Herb and with Sergeant Bass where they're talking about with Doc. Doc really just did what he had to do. He had no choice but to play these guys. This is what else was he going to do? And this is my whole point. This was my point about like when we were talking about in the last few games where you give Shake 8 minutes and then you yank him out, but you got Danny Green in there for 20 minutes. Let some of these younger guys we saw energy tonight. We saw energy. Now I'm not gonna say because Doc has given Cork chances. I'm not gonna say that he hasn't given Cork
plenty of times.
That being said, he has had a short leash on Shake and Isaiah Joe and Paul Reed and all these guys. Now, that being said, these guys came to play. We saw energy tonight. We saw what the young guys come out there. They were scrambling around. They was running. They was playing and everything else. And it was exciting to watch them. And that's why I'm saying, like, the reason why I don't give Doc so much props saying, like, he made all these great moves, because you could have still had that with these younger guys. Like, I know sometimes Doc goes and goes with, like, the all-bench lineup and stuff like that. But it's something about the way he plays them. Like, it should be, we see the potential with these guys. You can't tell me a good coach should be able to pull this out of them when you have like Embiid and Harden as your superstars. You should be able to pull this out of your bench players on a regular basis.
He was, though, and that's what Tyrese actually mentioned this earlier. He said when Tobias and Embiid was out with COVID, he said they was winning a lot of games regardless, and he said it was kind of like old times.
No, they wasn't. Where was they winning a lot of games? They was number 2. They was not winning a lot of games. They were not winning.
I will say this: they wasn't winning that many games.
Tyrese just said this on the
but I don't care what he said. They wasn't winning a lot of games, bro. We was like the number 2 seed in the East. We was like, our record was great.
We lost some games.
When B went out, we dropped all the way down to like number 6. So they was not winning games without him.
They still were able to get victories. They was still able to get something. Of course, they're not going to win at the same rate as Embiid, but they said they remember balling and being able to play.
They were not winning games, bro. They dropped in.
Y'all remember?
So Tyrese lying, and I'm lying.
If y'all remember, y'all remember, we went to a couple of them games early. Shout out to Jacqueline. Remember, she gave us the tickets to them games when they played Milwaukee. When they played, I think it was Milwaukee and it might have been Toronto. I think it was somebody else. And B didn't play. We lost those games, and Boston. One of them was Boston too. But we were very competitive in some of them games. So we wasn't winning a whole lot of games when B was out, but we was competitive. But once again, that to me incriminates Doc even more, because if you telling me that these dudes was actually doing stuff for you when you needed them, and then when the starters come back, you giving them all these very limited minutes and not balling them and not playing them, rather, that to me is even a more indictment on Doc, in my opinion.
We still was 8. We got back. We still was 8-3 with playing the regulars and having them on the bench stuff. So keep that in mind.
No. I agree, but this and I'm not taking a shot at Tim this time, but but what I'm saying is, I don't tell me they were winning without Bede and Tobias, because they were not. Ephraim just made it hit home. They might have been in games a little bit, but they still
won some games. They didn't lose.
They didn't win, bro. They went from like the number 1 seed to like the number 6 or number 7.
All right, but
they were not winning games without Embiid. That was the whole thing. When Bede and Tobias wasn't in there, we was losing.
All right. I'm right, but I want to keep on. I don't want to dwell on the.
You're not right.
I don't want to do it. So I want to move on to the players that actually played this game and their performances. I guess we could start with the boy Korkmaz, because Korkmaz, he kind of, don't get me wrong, I still have no faith in him. I don't think he'll ever replicate what he did today. But for tonight,
I agree with that too.
But for tonight, I'm gonna give him all the props in the world. He played very well. He just hit some big buckets. He wasn't. I don't know if he was at the point he wasn't scared because there was no pressure. I believe that's the reason why he was balling, because there really was no pressure on him at all.
Are you tripping? No pressure.
What pressure
They're playing the number one seed in the East without their superstar.
And was there expectation?
And he's been. And he's been. You're talking about expectation, but this is his chance to shine because you don't have the stars here. So this is his opportunity. So don't tell me that there's no pressure. Don't tell me that there's no pressure.
There was no pressure for Korkmaz today. There was none. There was no pressure. None.
All right. Wait. Let me say it like this real quick. If you're telling me like a guy, all right, say you know how somebody might have an argument like, I ain't get a chance to shine. I ain't get no chance to shine. Now you get your chance to shine. The pressure is on you to perform because now you have that chance.
No, this is what I'm saying is early on, it was easy breezy. It was no pressure. Towards the end, when they had an actual chance to win the game, Korkmaz started acting like Korkmaz again. He was.
I had to agree with Tim a little bit on this one. I do think it wasn't no expectation of us winning per se. Sort of a little bit of pressure was off, and it was a point in the game where I think Maxey and Toby threw Kork a dime. It was a rope down the middle and then lay it up, and then Kork right underneath the basket, and he kicks it out to like Tobias, and then Tobias missed the shot. I said, what in the world is you doing? He did turn back the Kork a little bit, and then he hit another big shot down the stretch. So I can't hate on him too much, but I kind of agree with Tim on this one a little bit. I hate to agree with Tim. I do. It pains me to agree with him, but I agree with him.
Thank you very much.
Listen, and I'm not saying I agree. Kork has been inconsistent, and I'm not looking at this game and saying Kork is back. This back to the beginning of the season, Kork. But you're not going to tell me that this wasn't any kind of pressure for the younger guys. You don't think if you're coming in this game without Embiid, without Harden, and you're going against the number one team in the East, I don't care what you say. It's still, you don't want to get blown out the building. These are guys, this is their opportunity to make a screen for minutes. You got guys.
I think it's more pressure for Max than anybody, for real. Honestly, I think it's more pressure for Max. And that's why
I agree with that too.
It was so impressive. What I saw him do tonight, it was special. It was special. The only game I seen where personally with my eyes seen one player kind of take over like at the game was that game me and Tim went to. It was the Detroit Sixers in Detroit and the Sixers playoff game. Well, me and Tim went to, he might not remember, this is years ago, where AI was still here, and AI went off that game. It was the game David Stern was in the stands. Remember that, Tim?
Was Dave with us?
I don't remember. I remember me and you. It might have been Dave, but David Stern sat like 3 rows in front of us.
I remember when David Stern was like right there. I remember that.
And it was a playoff game to Sixers, and AI went off. He took the game over, and we ended up winning that joint. And that it reminded me of that tonight. It really did. Maxey was special, man. I mean, it was special.
You know what? Real quick.
Can I jump in? real quick?
Go
ahead. Oh! You decided to come on now. You ain't want to come on when you thought we was gonna get spanked because Bede and Harden wasn't playing. Now you want to come in.
True. That's true, y'all. He said he ain't want to do the pod. He said he ain't want to do it, y'all.
He said he didn't want to do it. I got the text message right here. He said we're not doing no pod tonight.
Host it.
Do I have an echo?
Go ahead. You got it.
Do I have an echo? Am I good?
Yeah, you good.
When I told everybody this year was about Maxey, everybody had their opinion. I told y'all this year was about Maxey. Now, the problem is this year ain't about Maxey. It's about Harden. I told y'all. Listen, this is what I said. We should have traded for the young boys. We could have Halliburton and Hill here and had our backcourt for the next 10 years. But no. Y'all want Weber Harden here, who's playing terrible. Let Maxey grow. Let this young backcourt grow. We ain't winning it this year with Harden anyway. Stop. So you had another year.
You know what? You could have stayed home. You could have stayed home. You could have stayed home.
Let that young boy.
Yeah. Log out. You can log out. You can log out.
You got work. Your boss called.
Go to work. You can log out.
You got pound the ball Harden, who slows the offense up. You offense tonight, the ball was whipping around the court.
One game. It's one game. We're set. What were we? 8-2 with Harden. 8-2 with Harden.
No,
and you're going. Huh?
4. I think it was 4 after last night.
No. We didn't lose no 4 games with Harden.
It was
I don't think
I only think we lost 3 games with Harden. With Weber Harden.
It was 3.
Right. All right. So we lost 3 games, but so 8-3, and you're off of this one game
because no, it's not off this one game. The last couple games when Harden first came here, the ball was whipping around the court still. The last couple games, the ball's sticking. Don't act
listen,
like,
bro. It's okay to not be right. It's okay to not be right. Listen, Harden was the right play for us to go after Harden because no matter what you say and you saying the ball stick, Harden's still pulling in like 8 rebounds and 8 assists a game. So you can say all that you want, and Halliburton doesn't. Go ahead. What'd you say?
Are they going? Is Maxey going to continue at this high level when Harden and B come back?
Maxey didn't play at a high level with Harden when Harden first got here.
He did.
Not the last couple games.
Yeah, but you're going see. That's what I'm saying. Stop living game to game, bro. Stop living game to game.
I'm gonna say this. All that being said, Harden hasn't been playing as good as he played the first couple games. I still do believe that the way Maxey played tonight is a byproduct of James Harden. I still believe that. I think Harden has coached him up quite nicely and helped him mature his game and pump confidence. Sometimes you need somebody to pump a little bit of confidence into you and put that battery in your back to help you take your game and give that. If you got a boy like Harden, who's a 75 greatest NBA player of all time, telling you the man, giving you extra pointers for your game, is no doubt to me that this game is a little bit of byproduct of that. So I'm cool with Harden being here. I like the way Harden, for the most part, get rebounds, pass the ball. Sometimes he gets a little Harden as Houston Harden, where he pounds the ball and all that. But we still 8-3 with Harden winning. I still think we got a chance to win. And games like this, to me, ain't going to do nothing but just fuel Maxey when Harden does come back to keep that energy going. I'm straight for Harden.
But this kind of goes as to why I said I'm okay if Maxey comes off the bench and being that guy off the bench and
why are you trying to put a star on the bench? Why are you trying to put a superstar on the bench?
Maxey is not a superstar. Stop it.
It's just waiting.
He had reached superstar status.
Don't kill my vibe.
Don't kill him.
I'm being real. Y'all talk like a guy coming off and being a 6-man off the bench and being a stud scorer, dropping 20-something points off of the bench is disrespectful. But I think that because I think that Maxey can come in and not have to defer to Embiid and not have to defer to Harden, and he could come in and it's his show to run off the bench. He run free and do whatever.
Toby should be the only one coming off the bench. Maxey should not be coming off the bench. If anybody showed to me that they are a little bit lost at times with B, Maxey, and Harden, is Tobias. He's the only one, in my opinion, who you should even think about putting to the bench. I would never.
But it's not about him as a player, bro. This what y'all under. I'm not Maxey. Right now,
Toby be on the court. Toby be on the court lost. He
exactly.
The reason why I'm saying Toby should be coming off the bench, if anybody, because I think he will benefit his game and the bench scoring with Toby coming off the bench because he will be the main scorer at that point.
Ephraim, we've seen this. We've seen Toby being the main. We've seen Toby being the main dude off the bench, and our bench stunk. This is why I'm saying to me.
When Toby come off the bench with all the bench?
No. Not Toby coming off of the bench, but how many times we seen when the starter sat down and Toby was in there with a bunch of bench players and they did nothing. We've talked about this.
No, Toby actually, I remember that streak of games right before we got Harden. Toby was actually playing very well, and a lot of them points was coming when B was on the bench and Max on the bench, and Toby was the main.
You got revisionist history, bro. For real.
I don't. We talked about that.
We talked about it many a times all season about the bench being Tobias Harris in there with the bench players and they're getting nothing. That's why we talking about Tobias stinking, because Tobias was supposed to carry the team when he was the starter in with the bench. Tim, did we not talk about this?
I know Mr. Wing, Herb, Sergeant Bat, they cannot be agreeing with you. I got to get home and see the comment section because I will be floored if anybody on this comment section is agreeing with this from here. You cannot put Max on the bench. You can't. It'll be a travesty.
Not the way the league is now.
Can't do it.
It was a good night, man. Thank you. Shout out to the podcast.
All right, take care.
What's up, Mark?
Callie M said Maxey only comes off the bench if we get Bill next year.
Nah. See, this what I'm saying. I'm not saying give Maxey 15 minutes a game. I'm saying Maxey being your dude off the bench that just bring you that energy and that bring all that. And guess what? And down the stretch, Maxey still plays with the starters. But I'm not saying that Maxey is just a bench player. You can be that first dude off of the bench and still be a key component to your team.
Did y'all see? Going back to Maxey, did y'all see that?
You will bring Jordan off the bench. Maxey is Jordan right now.
See,
that's why I know that you high off.
Let me jump in. Did y'all see that block Maxey had at the end of the game though?
Yes, it was incredible. That's like bringing John Morant. You told me he was John Morant-esque. That block was John Morant-esque. This game and night.
No. Get it correct. I said his potential, in my opinion, is John Morant.
So still,
he's not John Morant-esque.
So you will
because what?
You will bring Ja off the bench. So you telling me you will bring Ja off the bench?
He's not Ja. His potential is there. He's not there yet. He's not there.
Somebody with the potential to be John Morant, you will bring off the bench? Is that
why not? Why not?
No, I think at this point, you bring Shake off the bench. You don't bring Maxey off.
And guess what? And we brought Shake off the bench, and our bench gets nothing. This is why I'm saying our biggest problem
for a reason.
Our biggest problem has been when we go to our bench, we get no production. So what I'm saying is, you bring a stud scorer or a stud player like Maxey off the bench, and he gives you that spark off the bench, and then you end up bringing the starters in, and they mix in, and he balls out.
So one, I'm not arguing some more because Doc ain't going to
what do y'all
because
think?
It's crazy.
Let me ask y'all, what do y'all think Doc reason is some time where you ain't see Paul Millsap in like a week, then he starts and Reed gets no burn? Is it matchups or is he just trying to figure out something that works? Sometimes I don't get it. Millsap actually gave solid minutes. I actually thought when Millsap, my bad, Tim, I actually thought when Millsap first came and he was getting a couple minutes, he actually gave some solid minutes. Then all of a sudden he was out the rotation. I think he gives solid. 25 is probably 23 is probably too much. 23 minutes is probably too much, but he had to do that for the night. But I think Millsap gives you a solid few minutes off the bench.
All right, let me answer your question. You did ask the question. Let me answer the question.
Go ahead.
Shoot. Millsap, what happened to Millsap is he had a death in his family, so he missed a couple of games. Then after that, we signed DeAndre Jordan, and they wanted to get a feel of DeAndre Jordan as the legit backup center for behind Joel. But I do agree. But I know you said you liked a lot about Millsap. I haven't seen anything to make me say, okay, we need to play him. I didn't see enough for me to say he definitely needs to be part of the rotation, be honest with you.
Hey, real quick, I would like to let y'all know that Tyler Hero comes off the bench and averages 21 points a game for the East leading Miami Heat.
Coming
off the bench don't mean that you're getting demoted.
Tyler Hero cannot hold Maxey's jockstrap.
He's averaging 21 points a game.
Or his sneaks.
And Tyler Hero's had a better playoff play than Maxey has so far.
So you think Maxey never started? I mean, Maxey never got Tyler Hero minutes in the playoffs.
Tyler Hero's not a starter either. I just told you Tyler Hero off the bench.
I said he never got Tyler Hero's minutes in the playoffs. He never got Tyler Hero minutes. The game he actually did, he helped us win in game 6. And that's why I said we should have went with him in game 7. So Maxey showed he's a baller in big time situations. And if we'd have played him in game 7, we probably would have won. But that's neither here nor there. Ain't no way in the world you go compare Tyler Hero to Maxey. They're not on the same level. Maxey with a different planet. Different planet.
Let me ask y'all something.
All together.
I was listening earlier. I don't know how much y'all talked about this, but I understand Doc can't make players make baskets. You can't make players shoot. You can't make. But is there certain things you can do to try to get these dudes going, like Korkmaz and Shake, like they was going tonight, or was it just listen, we just get the chance to go out there and play no pressure, and that's how they perform. But when it's a little pressure, I know people say it was pressure, but realistically, it wasn't a whole lot of pressure on them or not, because they was going to get the minutes regardless. But you did have to show. So was it more of no pressure, It was a more of we got to find some way to get these guys going.
I can't put Korkmaz on Doc because Doc. Remember, we talked about games when Doc kept running Kork out there. Kork was just shooting bricks. Now, Shake, in my opinion, after Shake came back from the back, it seemed like Doc had a quick leash on him. But Korkmaz, I can't make that argument for Korkmaz.
Yeah, but Shake, I think what I saw from Shake today, he was cooking, and I don't think we gave enough props to Shake either. Shake was cooking tonight. Not only that, he was using and abusing the boy Tyler Hero. Tyler Hero was he was balling all over the place, and very impressed with his performance tonight. Because what happened was Kork got us started, Shake got us rolling toward the middle, and then Maxey just took it over at the end. That's how we won this game.
Miss, he did say that, Miss. Wayne did say that about Maxey in the playoffs. Ben,
what about
me and Ethan was arguing. Ben, we talked about how Maxey folded in game 6 or 7. Some game you tried to hate on Maxey for.
I never said he folded. I just said he didn't produce in game 7. I didn't say he folded.
I think he
didn't get the minutes. He only got.
But he did get it. But when he was in it, Doc gave him a short leash. He did. But I'm not mad at that because when you have Ben Simmons, who you've been with that whole season, this is the guy this is one of your stars that you rode with the whole season. I'm not mad at Doc that he went back to him. That being said,
mad at that because you can't. I'm gonna tell you why. You can't have these dudes feeling like they got a short leash. If I make one mistake, I'm gonna get yanked. It's hard to play under that type pressure.
We can't say Maxey is better than Jimmy Butler right now. I mean,
so you're saying this about you're saying about a short leash with your bench player, let alone you're talking about Ben Simmons, who was one of your stars at the time, but you okay with him yanking Ben Simmons out and putting him on this short leash. That's why I'm saying I'm not putting that on Doc. Listen, I hate the fact that I hate how Ben played. I hate how it transpired, but I'm not blaming Doc for going back to who got you to that point. And Ben Simmons was your point guard, your best point guard that season that got you to that point. That's why I'm saying I'm not mad that Doc went back to him. Ben didn't reciprocate. Ben didn't show up. So that's on Ben to me, not on Doc. I don't. Go ahead.
So my thing is, how does Doc keep getting his production out the bench? Does he go? Let me ask. Does he go back to his all bench lineup?
That's what I was gonna say. Maybe you just rest both Bay and Harden at the same time, then let them bench players rock out. Let maybe Maxey playing with the bench. Maybe Maxey and Shake.
That's not all bench then. That's not all bench.
Well, if you bring Maxey off the bench, if you're bringing Maxey off the bench, it is all bench.
All right, we're not bringing Maxey off the bench, but so let's just end that crap right there. But does
that go back to the all bench lineup?
All right, speaking of all bench lineup, DeAndre Jordan made some really dumb plays in this game that nearly cost us. This dude, for some reason, kept he was letting Tyler Hero get him on the switch and alley-oops for Adebayo. He did it like 3 times. Sam Cassell was flipping. He lost his mind on the bench. I don't know if y'all saw him losing his mind when they called the timeout. But I was like, this boy is not that bright. Like, how you keep getting beat on the same exact play? That was crazy. I was like, yo, DeAndre Jordan, we was better.
Yeah, and Cassell got mad at him. But hey, Mike, I agree. You can't, and this is where I give Ethan credit because he's been ripping Doc and he's been critical of Doc. Doc has to do stuff game to game. Like he can't come in with this is, remember Rich Kotite? I don't know if y'all remember back when Rich Kotite was here and it was like he would look at the script like, this is what I got to do. Sometimes you got to look at the game and look at how things are going and you have to make adjustments. And I think Doc has to do a better job of that. In this game, you're not going to have some games you may be able to bring in your whole bench and they bring in that energy and you can run it. You can't do that. You can't go into the game saying, I'm going to bring all bench in and do that. That If it just so happens that as you're doing the rotations and at some point you have all bench in and they're balling, then that's fine. But you can't go into every game saying, I'm going to put all bench in and take all my starters out.
Mike, I agree with you. I do wish we gave Willie Cauley-Stein a chance because did we ever even see him play? I don't think we even got a chance to see if he was actually a player.
Did he ever even get minutes?
Okay. I don't remember seeing him at all.
I'm glad I seen the comment section. Charlie M and Sergeant Bass, they didn't disappoint. They said Max ain't come off the bench. Wayne tripping on this one. I knew it. I knew my Sixers loyalists would see through the foolishness called Dwayne. But
now all of a sudden you join them up. When they sit there telling my child goofy you are, all of a sudden
they never talk about how goofy you are. Me and the commenters are always like this, always the same, eye to eye. Tim is the only one who get hated on because Tim talk foolishly. But I'm glad y'all verified what I was saying. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, Shake actually had it. I don't know if y'all talked about Shake. I kind of jumped off for a second when I came in the house. Shake actually had a very good game. He actually, to me, he should have shot even more than he did down the stretch at some of the point before Maxey got back into the game.
He was killing Tyler Hero.
Yes, he had Hero on stage. Hero couldn't do nothing with him. I kept screaming from where I was at. I think he heard me too. I said, yo, stop playing with this dude. Take him to the well.
Now Ephraim hyped him. The same way he said Ben played better because he was ripping Ben. Now he yelling at dudes and they playing better.
Yes. And I do. And I'm gonna tell y'all now, I'm gonna put it out there. I think everybody who listens to this show who really loves the Sixers should set up a GoFundMe for me to go to the games. My winning percentage at the games now is at least about 75%. So when we get into the playoffs, I really think we should donate to the cause to send Ephraim to the game, and that will ensure at least 3 out of about every 7 games we gonna win 4. So we got to go to any 7-game series, we automatically winning because I'm at all of them.
So you a 50% win rate, and you want to hype that up?
75%. 75%.
4 out of 7 is 75.
What was that blowout game you was at?
What's that? That new math? That new math?
I'm just saying. Y'all get my point. My point is,
y'all hear his point. His point is he's not a mathematician.
My point is, send me to the games. I got y'all. I'm telling you, the energy I bring is contagious. We guarantee at least 1 victory or 3 victories out of every. I don't know. We
exactly. You know how to spell it.
So who's your first 3 off the bench now? Who's your first 3 players off the bench?
Yeah, I was assassin. I definitely had a nice little something. But first player off the bench.
Let me ask y'all.
Is Niang still? To me, Niang still been the most consistent bench player. Even though he's the most consistent, even though he's been inconsistent, he brings a lot of energy. Even when he's off, he hustles, he grabs rebounds, he's scrappy, he plays defense. I'm still bringing Niang first off the bench.
I agree. And that's why when Niang plays bad, it hurts us. Go ahead, Ethan.
I was short in hard minutes. He's playing too many minutes as it is. So cut down his minutes a little bit. He shouldn't be playing over minutes. He's getting older. Cut down his minutes a little bit. Let's shake it a little more of that burn. You know what I mean? You got to get these dudes going into the playoffs. You got to get the bench playing good basketball. You got to get the team playing good basketball going into the playoffs. If you don't, it could be one and done. So it's up to the doc to get these dudes going, get the bench going. Cork, Shake, whoever you're going to use. Stop giving dudes 2-3 minutes. Shake was getting like 4 minutes. Stop doing that to these dudes. Stop doing that. Let them get a little comfortable. Let them touch the ball a little bit. Something about touching that ball. Pause. It's something about. I don't even know how to say that.
You got to keep in mind, though, it's about the matchup, too. Because there's nowhere in the world Shake Milton gets off against if he played the team yesterday in Toronto. They're really
Why
tall.
not? Why not?
Because Shake has a finesse game. Shake's game is finesse.
You don't think Butler's a good defender?
It's nowhere near. They got
wait. I think you underestimate Shake a little bit because actually Shake is pretty good.
I know Shake's game.
You're saying finesse, but Shake actually does a good job in getting his wide shoulders into guys and getting finishes. Like Shake has been
Shake wouldn't have did this against Toronto. Not their height. He just wouldn't.
You hyping Toronto right now. So he did this against Miami, but he wouldn't have done it against Toronto.
I'm telling you, yes. I mean, don't y'all act like Toronto.
No, I kind of agree. I kind of agree with Tim with that. Toronto is a more longer athletic team. He was abusing the boy Hero. He couldn't do.
Which team has a better defense? Which team has a better defense?
It doesn't matter. It's called the matchup.
Which one? I mean, as an individual, I mean, you got to remember too. Toronto actually had some other people playing because Van Fleet didn't play. He could be a lot. He's not suspect on defense, but he don't have a heightened athleticism that that the dudes who replaced them had. Though is what I'm saying. So that's why Shake was able to kind of get off against Miami, but not so much against Toronto. But listen, I mean, all that being said,
you know what's funny is everybody talking about how trash Tobias is. Tobias actually shot 50% tonight, even though he only had 14, 8, and 6. With a steal, he shot 6 for 12 and 1 for 3 from 3. This ain't the worst game we've seen from Tobias. It's not max contract type play, but we've seen Tobias stink it up way worse than this.
It's just the quality of the
So is your expectation still Eastern Conference Championship or some failed season?
Oh yes,
absolutely,
yes.
So you apparently yours changed.
Yeah.
Did it?
Y'all gonna be y'all heart's gonna be broken. That I don't
hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel.
I get it, Ethan. You don't want to shoot for the stars because you don't want your heart to get broken. But when I'm looking at this team, and this is what we get caught up into saying, and it's the funny part, right? Because if we lost if the Sixers would have been playing against a team without their top 2 players and we lost them, the Sixers trash. See, when we play a good team, this, that, and other. Now the Sixers beat Miami without their 2 superstars. And instead of saying we showed up and we balled, it's like, oh, I still don't know. Even though we're 8-3 since we got Harden.
But I'm gonna ask you this, Wayne. Let me ask you this: Isn't it a different style of basketball we play when Embiid and Harden play?
Yeah, I think we play more of a playoff type of basketball when they play. Yes.
So, do you think when they don't play, it's more of a basketball? It's more of a ball move. It's more of a movement offense when they don't play.
You can say what you want, but we're 8-3 when they play.
I'm asking you a question. Just ask the question.
It can be a different style of ball, but we're 8-3 when they play. That's what I'm saying. We win when they play.
My thing is that's my thing. That type of basketball helps those dudes like Shake and Kork, but the style of basketball we play when Harden and Embiid plays doesn't help that.
So let me ask you this: when we play,
my thing is they won't help you when you need them.
So when we played without Embiid and we were losing, and that style of play when we was ripping and running up and down the court, and Maxey was dropping 20+ points, and Niang was scoring all this, but we were losing. You're telling me because that looks better and you like that style of play better, but when Embiid comes in and the ball sticks with Embiid a little bit more, but we win more, I'd rather take the winning style of basketball.
But no, you have to win when it counts. This is my thing. I'm not knocking the style. I'm just saying the coach has to figure out a way to help the bench play better, right?
I agree with that.
You see what style they like. Let me put it that way. You see what style they like, right? You see what style they flourish under. So it's up to you as a coach to maybe get some of that in there when Embiid or when they come in. Maybe, get a little movement. I don't know. It's something. I think he has to figure out.
I'm going to tell you what needs to be figured out. Danny Green needs to get, even though he played okay tonight, he needs to get less minutes. Danny Green actually needs to be phased, in my opinion, needs to be phased out of the playoff roster, be honest with you. To me, he's the oldest, most non-athletic, most inconsistent player coming off our bench outside of Kork, but Kork at least has the little bit of height to supplement. Cause you actually see Kork getting there and get some rebounds sometimes where he banged a little bit. It was a crucial rebound he got tonight at around like I think it was like the 5 or 6 minute mark. He jumped in there and got a rebound and kicked it back out. So I think to Maxey, who ended up hitting the shot. So to me, even though Kork has been inconsistent a lot of times, he got the height, he got the youthful energy to give you some valuable hustle minutes at least. Danny Green got to be phased out of the bench, in my opinion. Them minutes that Danny Green get need to go to Shake Milton.
I agree. And that's what I'm saying. To me, and what's his name? The backup center, DeAndre Jordan played decent tonight. But that being said, when I seen Millsap play decent as well. And then DeAndre Jordan, in my opinion, DeAndre Jordan stunk it up the last couple games. So him and Danny Green stunk it up. See, I can deal with Niang having an off night. Like it was a couple games ago and we were ripping Niang and we were saying because Niang shot how he shot, that's what contributed to us losing. And we were harping on Niang. But that's because Niang has actually given us quality minutes off the bench. Niang, it has been our most consistent and best bench player off this season. So if Niang has an off night, us calling Niang off for having an off night is not us ripping Niang. It's just saying he had an off night. But that being said, I keep saying Dwight. DeAndre Jordan has been stinking it up since he's been here. Him and Danny. And I had this whole argument about Danny, and we was talking about Danny and what's the boy that y'all said, even though we couldn't have got him because Danny was the exception. But Oubre. We were saying that, like they were saying, if we'd had Danny over Oubre, it would have been a better team. But Danny has stunk this whole season. And that's what I'm saying. Doc has given him chance after chance, and Danny has shown that he's done. And this is why I agree with Ephraim. You got to go with the younger person. You got to go with Shake. Give him a chance.
So whose fault is that Danny's still getting 25 minutes? This is my
That's
point.
Doc.
This is my point, though. Whose fault is that?
That's Doc. I agree with you.
Somebody mentioned that Brandon, I think it was. No, it wasn't Brandon. Somebody mentioned that Shake was getting Jamar Oliver. He said Shake. He's a good game from Shake, but have y'all forgotten he's shooting career lows all across the board for the season? No, I think some of that is the inconsistent amount of time he's in the games. He is games where he'd come in for 15 minutes, then another game he'd get 5, then another game he'd get 8, then another game he'll be back up. Overall, his minutes a game. His games are down. The games that he did play so far are down from 23 last year to 21, which is not huge, but I think it's the way those games come. Some games he'd be in a lot. Like a couple 2-3 games ago, he only had 8 minutes. And we talked about that when he actually hit one shot. He was in there 8 minutes and went 1 for 1 from 3 and barely got any playing time because Danny Green got like 20. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that was the game Danny Green went 0 for 6. So this to me is stuff like that where you got to give a player like Shake who's shown with significant minutes he can actually put some good stats together. I think you got to get Shake back in the lineup more. You taking a player in and out and helping this game.
Only thing about Danny, ain't he a kind of a better defender than Shake?
Not this year.
Not no more. I mean, when you see Danny do something defensively like on some lockdown tip this year.
I mean, I've seen him do little things here and there, but it's not on that type of time where it's like.
I mean, he got quick hands. He do the Harden thing. He get his hands in there quick, pop a ball loose or something. But it ain't like he really stand in front of nobody like that.
But it might be a height thing too, because he plays the 3 too, so it might be a height thing. Danny like 6'6", Wish 6'3".
He only 6'4". He's not that tall. Danny not that tall.
I got him listed at 6'6". I think Kork is at him.
No, Danny only like 6'4".
He like 6'4". He's not.
Hey, Mr. Wing, listen. Hey, Mar. First of all, man, I agree. And I'm coming around to this. Like Ethan's been saying this from the beginning, talking about Doc. Doc wasn't my first choice as coach either, but I felt like he was a big time upgrade over Brett Brown. Brett Brown was trash in my opinion. But that being said, Mr. Wing, you got to stop hating, bro. Like I don't know. Maybe you was the Brian fan. I mean the Ben fan, and you're because he's saying like what was Harden's reason for missing tonight. You do realize that people do load management now. I'm not mad that Harden sat tonight. I in my opinion though, I would have rather him and Embiid sat last night and played tonight. But that being said, they played last night. I'm not mad that they sat Harden tonight.
No, I don't think that's
I'm saying he wasn't at the game.
I don't care if he wasn't at the game. If you're not playing, I don't care.
Was he at the game? Was Harden?
Yeah, I'm not. I didn't see him. I seen Joel. I didn't see him on the bench at all at the game.
Maybe he was in the back getting his massage, his personal massage.
Getting his hamstrings worked out.
By the
Deshaun Watson massage. We about
he
to
flew
be
a
out.
stripper from Miami. The massage. The massage.
Anybody got any final thoughts before we wrap this thing up?
I'm surprised. I did look up Danny Tight. It said Danny 6'6". I could have swore I seen Danny listed at 6'4" before, but
I said I'm listening to 6'4" too. I don't know. Maybe he is. But I swear it was 6'4".
Yeah, I thought he was too. He might have put some little lifts. You know, they got them lifts, the man lifts you could put in your shoes to kind of pump your height up a little bit. I think he got the man lifts.
My man Mike Scott said he said Harden was already at the. He said, "Oh, Brandon used." Okay. he said Mike Scott said Harden was already at the club in L.A. He
probably is already out in L.A. He probably took.
I wouldn't even doubt it. I wouldn't even doubt it.
He got jump on things. I wouldn't doubt that either.
Yeah, I'm gonna meet y'all out there, y'all. I'm good.
Hey, listen. I ain't gonna say about the club part, but if he flew out there early just to get out there and get rested and everything else, I ain't mad at that.
Hey,
Tim is sleepy. You see Tim trying to shut it down. He's sleepy.
Yeah, China Banks. You're right. China Banks. Yeah, Tim's sleepy. Tim definitely sleepy.
Here we go.
But
Tim always trying to top it. We popping. We keep telling you this. We popping. We got we got like 80 people in the chat. We talking. We having fun, and you want to shut it down.
That's how Tim play.
Tim,
but look,
do what you do.
I got to go to work tomorrow.
Go ahead. Watch me lose. Everybody gonna be gone by the time.
Now we up to 85. We was at 80. Now we at 85. Yo, hey y'all, hit that like just to shut Tim up. Hit the like button just to shut Tim up.
It was the best win of the season. I do agree with that.
That was a really good quality win. To being at that game,
you, the energy that I brought to that game tonight was incredible, man. Real rap. We might really want to consider me getting season tickets, man. Get me.
Where was you sitting at? Where was you sitting at? You was probably on the. You was probably in the balcony. Talking about the energy I brought.
I was up in the near the ceiling, but the energy I brought was so crazy. You could feel it. Ain't nobody hear you but the people 3 rows in front of you. And you talking about something, I know they heard me. No, that game was popping though, man. It's a good win. Good win, good pot.
So Wednesday, I don't know how we're gonna do. That game starts at 10 o'clock. So
who gonna do? You talking about the podcast or the Sixers?
Both.
I'll be here. I'll be here.
All right, we're gonna try to make it. We're gonna try to do a quick pod. If y'all up with us around 12:31, because I gotta get up and go to work the next morning. But anyway, thanks for watching the podcast. Please like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification button. We're gonna catch you on our next podcast. We out.
Deuces.
Peace.